my lovely friends, it's Margaret, and today I am here to tell you everything you need to know about the Avengers Initiative Reading Challenge for the month of October. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is pretty straightforward. We're going to be going into all of the announcements for the Avengers Initiative Reading Challenge, and then I'm going to tell you what I will be reading to fulfill the prompts for those, what I am working on this month, because I would like to be working on some stuff this month. For realsies. Yes, I'm starting to feel the pressure of the fact that we are at the end of the year and I don't have as many Avengers as I should have. I am not participating in any other readathons at this time besides the Avengers stuff, just because I do know that, I'm probably going to want to reserve some steam, save some power for some of the stuff I have planned for the end of the year. So I'm just we're going to take October nice and easy, and then we'll go back into doing other readathons in November and December, especially considering I have readathons that I do every year in those months. Keeping things nice, short, sweet, to the point. First thing that you need to know is what movies we will be watching for this month in our watch along of all of the Avengers movies chronologically. In October, we will be watching Black Widow, which we will be watching on October 9th, and then Thor Ragnarok, which we'll be watching on October 22nd. I do want to give y'all a warning: if you're going to watch Black Widow and you haven't watched Endgame yet, there is an end credit scene that spoils something that happens in Endgame. The group book that we will be reading is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet in 1920 Shanghai, I think? Yes, 1926 Shanghai. And it's about a guy and a girl on opposite sides of two rival gangs. Obviously, they're going to fall in love, there's going to be trouble, everyone's going to be unhappy. It's Romeo and Juliet. I will probably be unhappy, and yet I couldn't not read this because it sounded so good, and I bought it, and then I found out it was a retelling of Romeo and Juliet. So I'm hoping Chloe Gong treats us more nicely than William Shakespeare did. After that, it is time to talk about the characters that we will be releasing. As usual, I will start with the characters I am not doing and save the character that I am working on this month for last. I have a lot of characters I'm going to try and get to this month, so just go with me, you'll see what I mean. So character number one is going to be Shang-Chi from the new movie that just came out, Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings. And the missions on his mission log are author with a pen name, platonic friendship, Chinese main character, Asian author, features dragons, incorporates 2 or more languages, character that's ashamed of their past, and magical weapon. The center prompt is to try Qigong, and we do include a few, it's a specific set of breathing exercises. We do include a few videos about how to do it for various levels of activity. The group book is going to cover Asian author and features dragons. It also features a Chinese main character, so you got 3 out of 8 knocked off, so starting y'all out good. For Shang-Chi, his superpower is the Great Protector, and it bears the load of half of any boss battle challenge. So for example, if it is a 200-page challenge, read 200 pages, then you only have to read 100 pages because this superpower will make up the rest. The next character that we will be releasing is the character that would have been the character released in September had Team Iron Man won. They did not, so we got Sharon Carter. So this month we are releasing Pepper Potts. We couldn't just come up with these characters and not give them to y'all to use. I mean, come on. So the prompts for Pepper are: read a book about a mother, read a book with a violent character, read a book with a character that adapts to change, with a character that works for someone difficult, read a book that has been on your TBR I'm assuming for a while, and then a book with a power couple, a book with a businesswoman, and a book where the side character is more competent than the main character. I could shade some male authors here because there are a lot of books where the female lead is more competent than the guy. Pepper's action prompt is to create a 3+ item task list, complete the list, and then give yourself a reward. And then her superpower or her skill is 12.5%. You may still use a book to complete one prompt if you DNF it at 12% or less. And then finally, let's move on to the final character that we are releasing in October, and that is Yelena from Black Widow. For Yelena, the prompts are: read a book with life or death stakes, a spin-off or a companion book, a book that references a cultural touchstone, a book with someone posing on the cover, a book with comic relief, a book with an unorthodox education, a book with a dysfunctional family, and a book with Y in the title. So These Violent Delights covers a couple of things on this one. I think it covers some on Pepper, but like we weren't really worrying about whether or not, because it was a reward character. So Yelena's center prompt is to research the End It movement. That is a movement that has to do with a lot with sex trafficking. I will also go ahead and just link to a really good podcast I have on human trafficking down in my description box, because I think a lot of the time when people think of sex trafficking, they're not actually thinking of the way that sex, like what you think of as sex trafficking is a small portion of like a very large industry, and things are a lot different for a lot of people in the industry. So I'm going to make sure to link that down below as well. But her superpower is bank 2 hours of reading time from this board for a future boss battle. Anyways, we're going to be working on Yelena, starting with These Violent Delights. The prompts that fulfills are life or death stakes, references a cultural touchstone, and book with a dysfunctional family. After that, I'm going to be tackling All the Feels by Olivia Dade. I don't really know what this is about. I just know it's the sequel to Spoiler Alert, which I absolutely adored, and it comes out October 26th. So technically, I will have enough time to read it by the end of the month. That one is going to be covering read a spin-off / companion book, and then read a book with comic relief, because those books are funny as heck. The first book was funny as heck, and I'm just really looking forward to the couple, because we know them from the first book. I have no idea what the plot is, though. I really don't. I'm reading this for the characters. Then to cover book with a Y in the title, I'm going to be reading I'll Give You the Sun by Jan D. Nelson. From what I understand, this follows a brother and a sister, one of them in the present, one of them in the past, and is kind of following them around something that happens. I don't quite remember anymore what that is, but like something has happened with them and in their family, and so it is following them through that. And the final thing I will be reading for this particular board is Full Metal Alchemist, probably volume 8, I think, at this point, because like I don't know, it may be volume 7, it may be volume 9, just depends on where I am with rereading the series. Do I really need to tell you about Full Metal Alchemist again for like the 3rd time? Go watch my wrap up, go watch the review I did. Like, it's about 2 brothers and you will love it. It is the best manga ever. I know there are people that disagree with me on that one. We're not friends though. And then we are going to be cleaning some stuff up, because I want to I have a whole bunch of boards that like I just need one book from. I need one book from my pile back here. So I'm going to be reading Lazaretto. This is the final book that I need to read to finish Shuri's board. I believe, I'll have to check, but I'm pretty sure A Song of Wraith and Ruins will cover all of the prompts I was planning on using the Shuri comic for. That's how we're going to do this, so that means I just need to read Lazaretto this month to complete Shuri's board, and I have been meaning to reread this anyways. This is a historical fiction novel. It is set in the days after Lincoln's assassination, and it follows... That's a spoiler. Let's suffice it to say that it follows the lives of several Black people after the assassination of Lincoln in the North, as they are trying to kind of just live their lives, and it kind of goes through how their paths intercross, interweave. Yeah, that. It is so good. If you like books about siblings and family, this is a really good book to read. It is kind of heavy, especially considering some of the material that is in it. Not just the material, I mean, there is material related to race, but there is also just emotional stuff that happens because of the time period and because of, like, the advances of medicine, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of sadness and death and sadness. But it is also, it's so worth it. It is also so worth it, and I love it. I am also finally going to try and finish Hulk's board by reading Heist Society by Ali Carter. This is about Kat Bishop, and she comes from a family of thieves. She's trying to get out of the thieving life, but she keeps getting drawn into it because her family needs her help, and now her dad has been kidnapped, and so she has to turn to her billionaire friend Hale and their kind of group of people that they have put together to pull off a heist. This is another, like, tried, true, like, years-long favorite. I love it. I am rereading the entire series, and I also have a whole series that kind of, like, video series that I want to do that involves one of this book at least. The next Avenger I'm going to be trying to complete, the next mission log I'm trying to complete is Thor's. I think at this point I just need to read Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. I have started it, wasn't working for me, I wasn't vibing with it. I think it's mostly because I wasn't vibing with, no, that was the other Viking book. I was enjoying this. Not sure where I was in it because Bookly screwed me over, but that's okay. Not their fault. There was a glitch. Actually, no, that was probably my fault. Anyways, long story short, this is about a girl. It's based on Viking not Viking history, not mythology. Well, it's a little bit based on Viking history, but like history, mythology, both of those things all together. And she saw her brother die on the battlefield 5 years ago, or the last year, or the last time that this other tribe came and tried to raid them. This is her year. Like, she's going out, she's going to get revenge for her brother, and she sees him fighting for the other side and is like, what the heck? This is going to fulfill the prompt on Thor's board about read a book with Vikings. After that, I am going to also try and finish Agent Coulson's board for reasons, and I'm gonna try and finish that. Like, I've already read the 2 that I needed to for this board. Like, I just have one more book, and that's Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. From what I understand, it's like a Victorian era thing where this girl is very sciencey, very into like forensics, and she ends up like trying to track down Jack the Ripper, as is evidenced by the title. I've heard so many good things. I know so many people who love this series, so I'm really looking forward to reading it. Like, from what I understand, I think the romance is going to be one that I like, so I'm just like, I'm excited. I'm ready for it. And then the final one that I need to read is The Fasteners by Andrew Eliopoulos. This is about a boy who has magic and also a crush on another boy. And a new boy comes to town, and I just know that there's conflict within the friend group. They're worried the friend group's gonna break up because he and the other person in the friend group both like the one guy, and then this other guy comes, and then there's stuff that's going on with the magic. It's gonna cover a couple of prompts on Valkyrie's board, and I got it, and I need to read it. So those are all of the books that I'm going to be trying to tackle in the month of October. Let me know down in the comments, what is the book you are most concerned about reading in the month of October? Like, what's the one on your TBR that you're like, this might work for me, it might not. I will say Sky in the Deep for my answer. Like, I think I'm gonna like it, but also maybe I won't like it. We will see. If you're not feeling chatty and you want to let me know that you watched to the end of the video, go ahead and leave me the dragon emoji for these violent delights. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you enjoyed this video, you may enjoy some of the videos that are over here, and if you enjoyed those videos, I would really appreciate it if you're new, if you subscribe. That is it for now, my friends. Happy reading, and I will see you later when we will talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye! It is set in the days after Lincoln's... This is a historical fiction novel. It is set in the days after Lincoln's assassination.